Capek banget. Antiadibus, Qigong. There are a number of special terms that are commonly used by Qigong practitioners and are found in the documents which have been passed down from generation to generation. Since most of these terms are keywords which will help you to grasp the basic concept of Qigong practice, it is important that you understand their real meaning. In this chapter, we shall discuss the major terms which are directly related to Qigong. Jing, or essence. Qi, internal energy. Shen, spirit. They are the root of your life and therefore also the root of Qigong practice. Jing, Qi, and Shen are called Sanbao, which means the three treasures. Sanyuan, which means the three origins, or Sanben, which means the three foundations. In Qigong training, a practitioner learns how to firm his Jing. Gu means to firm, solidify, retain, and conserve, and how to convert it into Qi. This is called Lian Jing Hua Qi, which means to refine the Jing and convert it into Qi. To convert essence into internal energy. This is called. Then he learns how to lead the Qi into the head to convert it into Shen, also called nourishing Shen. This is called Lian Qi Hua Shen, which means to refine the Qi and convert it into nourish the Shen. Finally, the practitioner learns to use his energized Shen to govern the emotional part of his personality. This is called Lian Shen Liao Jing, or to refine the Shen to end human emotional nature. To refine the Shen to end human emotional nature. To refine the spirit into controlling emotions. These conversion processes are what enable you to gain health and longevity. As a Qigong practitioner, you must pay a great deal of attention to these three elements during the course of your training. If you keep these three elements strong and healthy, you will live a long and healthy life. If you neglect or abuse them, you will be sick frequently and will age fast. Each one of these three elements or treasures has its own root. You must know the root so that you can strengthen and protect your three treasures. The Chinese word Jing means a number of things depending on where, when, and how it is used. That was the introduction. Jing. The Chinese word Jing means a number of things depending on where, when, and how it is used. Jing can be used as a verb, an adjective, or a noun. When it is used as a verb, it means to refine. For example, to refine or purify a liquid to a high quality is called Jinglian. When it is used as an adjective, it is used to describe or signify something which is refined. To refine or refined, polished and pure without mixture. For example, when a piece of artwork is well done, people say Jingzi, which means delicate and painstaking, literally pure and fine. Or Jinglian, which means excellent quality, literally pure and good. When Jing is used to apply to personal wisdom or personality, it means keen and sharp. For example, when someone is smart or wise, they are called Jingming, which means keen and clever. When Jing is applied to a thought, it means profound or astute, and indicates that the idea or plan was well and carefully considered. When used as a noun for an object, Jing means the essence or the essentials. When it is used for the energy side of a being, it means spirit or ghosts. Since Chinese people believe that the male sperm or semen is the refined and the most essential product of a man, Jing also means sperm or semen. When Jing is used as essence, it exists in everything. Jing may be considered the primal substance or original source from which a thing is made and which exhibits the true nature of that thing. When Jing is used in reference to animals or humans, it means the very original and essential source of life and growth. This Jing is the origin of the Shen, or spirit, which makes an animal different from a tree. In humans, Jing is passed down from the parents. Sperm is called Jingzi, which means the sons of essence. When this essence is mixed with the mother's Jing, egg, a new life is generated, which is, in certain fundamental respects, an intertwining of Jings of both parents. The child is formed, the qi circulates, and the shen grows. The Jing, which has been carried over from the parents, is called Yuang Jing, which means original essence. Once you are born, original Jing is the fountain, head, and root of your life. It is what enables you to grow stronger and bigger. After your birth, you start to absorb the Jing of food and air, converting these Jings into the qi which supplies your body's needs. You should consider and understand that when Jing is mentioned in Qigong society, it refers usually to Yuan Jing, original Jing. Qigong, you should consider when Jing is mentioned in Qigong society, it refers usually to Yuan Jing, original Jing. Qigong practitioners believe that original Jing is the most important part of you because it is the root of your body's qi and shen. The amount and quality of original Jing is different from person to person, and it is affected significantly by your parents' health and living habits while they were creating you. Generally speaking, it does not matter how much original Jing you have carried over from your parents. If you know how to convert it, you will have more than enough for your lifetime. According to Chinese medicine, you probably cannot increase the amount of Jing you have. It is believed, however, that Qigong training can improve its quality. In Qigong training, knowing how to conserve, and firm your original Jing is of primary importance. How to conserve and firm your original Jing is of primary importance. To conserve means to refrain from abusing your original Jing, though overuse, for example, if you overindulge in sexual activity, you will lose original Jing faster than other people, and your body will degenerate faster. To firm your Jing means to keep and protect it. For example, you should know how to keep your kidneys strong. Kidneys are thought of as the residence of original Jing. When your kidneys are strong, the original Jing will be kept firm and will not be lost without reason. The firming of your original Jing is called Gu Jing, which is translated to make solid, to firm the essence. Only after you know how to retain, meaning to conserve and firm your original Jing, can you start seeking ways to improve its quality. Therefore, conserving and firming your Jing is the first step in training in order to know how to conserve and firm your Jing. You must first know the root of your Jing, where the original Jing resides, and how original Jing is converted into qi. The root of your original Jing before your birth is your parents. After birth, this original Jing stays in its residence, the kidneys, which are now also its root. When you keep this root strong, you stays in its residence. You will have plenty of original Jing to supply to your body. If you look carefully at how you were formed, you can gain interesting insight into life. You started as one sperm, which, because it managed to reach and penetrate the egg before any of the other millions of sperms could, was one of the strongest and luckiest sperm alive. Once this sperm entered the egg, one human cell formed and then started to divide from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 4. Finally, the baby formed. All of the baby's health depended on the sperm and egg, which were generated from the Jing of the parents. As the baby was being formed, it was immersed in liquid, and it received all of its nutrients and oxygen from the mother through umbilical cord. Notice that the umbilical cord connected at the navel, which is very close to both the dantian and your body's center of gravity. The umbilical cord is very long, and because it is hard for the mother alone to push the necessary supplies to the baby needs to help. The baby must draw the nutrients to itself with an in and out pumping motion of its abdomen. Once you are born, you start taking in oxygen through your nose and food through your mouth. Since you no longer need the abdominal motion to pump in nutrients, it gradually stops and finally you forget how to use it. In Qigong, the lower dantian, Xia dantian or abdomen is still considered the original Qi source because it is here that Qi is made from the original Jing, which you inherited it from your parents. According to Chinese Medical and Qigong Society, the original Jing which you obtained from your parents stays in your kidneys after your birth. This original Jing is the source of your life and growth. The original Jing is converted continuously into Qi, which moves into the lower dantian and stays stored there in its residence for the future use. The dantian is located on the conception vessel, one of the 8 Qi reservoirs in the body, which regulates the Qi flow in the other Qi channels. This will be discussed in chapter 3. Dantian Qi is considered water Qi, Shui Qi, and is able to cool down the fire Qi, Huo Qi, which is generated from the Jing of food and air, and which resides at the middle dantian. As you may realize from the above discussion, if you wish to stay strong and healthy, you must first conserve your original Jing. Remember that original Jing is like the principal in your savings account, in that it is an original investment which will continue to return interest as long as it is conserved. Jing can produce Qi, so if you handle this Jing carefully, you will continue to have Jing and Qi. However, if you abuse yourself with an unhealthy lifestyle, you may damage and reduce your original Jing. In order to conserve your Jing, you must first control your sexual activity. The gonads are called the external kidneys, Wai Shen. In Chinese Medical Society, this is because Chinese doctors believe that sperm is a product of original Jing and the Jing from food and air. The more ejaculations you have, the faster you will exhaust your original Jing, and the shorter your life will be. Please understand that the Chinese doctors and Qigong practitioners are not saying that in order to conserve your Jing, you must stop your sexual activity completely. As a matter of fact, they encourage the proper amount of sexual activity, believing that it will energize and activate the Jing, which makes the Jing-Qi conversion more efficient. Remember, Jing is like fuel, and Qi is like the energy generated from this fuel. The more efficiently you can convert your fuel into energy, the less you will waste. In addition, the proper amount of sexual activity will energize the Qi so that it nourishes the Shen spirit. This will help you stay mentally balanced and raise your Shen. It is very important to keep your Shen raised, otherwise you will tend to get depressed and will be afraid to face life. It is very hard to define how much sex is the proper amount. It depends on the individual's age and state of health. According to Qigong, the Jing which resides in the external kidneys, gonads, is the main source of the Qi, which fills up the 4 major Qi vessels in the legs. These 4 Qi reservoirs vessels keep the legs strong and healthy. Therefore, if you feel that your legs are weak due to the amount of sexual activity, you have too much of your Jing. If you feel that your legs are weak due to the amount of sexual activity, you have lost too much of your Jing. So have sex, as long as you don't feel weak in the legs. The second thing you must do in order to conserve your original Jing is to prevent your original Qi from leaking out of your body. There are 2 acupuncture cavities called Shen Shu or Jingmen, essence doors. These 2 cavities are the doors through which kidneys communicate with the outside, and they are used to regulate the Qi production in the kidneys. When Qi is converted from original Jing, most of it moves forward to the dantian. However, some Qi is lost backward through the kidneys doors. If you lose too much Qi, your Jing will be depleted as you try to make up for the loss. In Qigong practice, one of the major training goals is to learn how to lead the converted Qi from the kidneys to the dantian more efficiently. And that is Jing.